y'all, it's Kelly Janae with Ethereal Ecology Healing Arts. Today I want to be really just honest and raw with you guys about what it's like to be making content when you're a person who's really in a deep healing process. For me, being in a deep healing process is why I am a skilled healer for other people, because I'm consistently engaging with my own process. Most people who are making content about healing work or yoga or meditation and all this, they seem like they just have their stuff together, right? They're happy and they're healthy and they're vibrant and they're blah. But, you know, it's not a very true depiction of what healing work looks like, because we can't just bypass the messy, ugly, difficult stuff that's actually happening, which is where all of the meat and the juice and the transformation of healing work is. The transformation of healing work is not on the surface. It's not in this like, oh, just meditate for this amount of time and you'll be good. All of those practices are important because they keep us in alignment with our inherent beautiful qualities as we are going through life, which seems to just be reflecting back to us either the things we love about ourselves or the things that we hate about ourselves, the things that stop us from moving forward in life, the things that we're freaking terrified of. And this is the healing process, is when we start to realize just how much our own blocks that we've created as a result of survival unconsciously in our bodies as early as being in the womb. Most of our system develops before we're 5 years old. Some people even say 3 years old. So we're holding all of this unconscious wounding and trauma and confusion and belief systems that are essentially rippling through our adult life, determining what does and does not work for us. For me, I know that my path in life is healing work because my deepest soul desires require me to actually overcome these really deep subconscious wounds that I have and the patterns I've developed that block me from being successful in life. So I've subconsciously, whatever, my soul has chosen to pursue those things in life that require me to actually transform and transmute these patterns that, as far as I can tell, are generational in nature. So as somebody who's making content regularly, educational content, that's all coming from my real life experience. It's coming from engaging really fully and personally with the healing process, which, like I said, is not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun as a rule. It hurts because what it requires us to do is to engage with our pain that we've been spending our entire life avoiding. At a certain point, you can't avoid it anymore because it is the very thing that needs to be addressed in order for you to move forward in your life. And if you're somebody like me who's very future-oriented, goal-oriented, I really want to be this person. I really sense this higher self sense of myself that I would like to embody. That is the pain that I live with every day, is knowing just how much my own patterns block me from being able to do what I want in life. So it's my mission to be of service to my highest potential and of service to that like little one within myself that was hurt at the moment of birth, really, and never really quite recovered from that initial trauma. All of this is just to say that sometimes it's really difficult for me to be authentic in front of the camera because I am in a healing process. When we're in a healing process, we are face to face with those parts of us that we are really insecure about. Unless we're conscious of it, we also can collapse into really young parts. And so for that to really show up and be like, oh, hey, publicly, this is a part of me that I'm working with, it's really can be humiliating, can be shameful and really scary. I guess the whole topic of this is about safety, because I've realized, as somebody who tends to dissociate, as somebody who has been really scared for a long time in my life, just generally about everything, and hypervigilant and suicidal, It's really the root cause of all of those intense feelings that I have, and also a mistrust of people, which isolates me, is not feeling safe. I suspect that there's many, many people out there who don't feel safe. I know many of them. And most of these people tend to be loners. They tend to stay on the fringes. Usually they do tend to have a really deep desire for connection, but it seems so difficult to connect to people or find a nourishing, trustworthy relationship, that it's just easier and at a certain point kind of necessary to just be on your own. But this doesn't necessarily heal the safety wound. And safety is something that we need to have, like in that first moment of birth into our first year of life. We need to be nurtured, and we need to know that we're safe and held, because when we're that young, we do not have a sense of self. We have a body all of a sudden, what? And then we are just thrust into life. So it's scary if we don't have like a really strong container that we're held in. And the reality is that's the parent's job, but parents are human. And parents are not always super present with their children, and there's can be patterns of neglect. There can be patterns of, whatever. I feel like I felt hatred from my parents from an early age, and I'm sure they loved me a lot, but I took on a lot of what their thoughts were about myself, and those ripple and ripple and ripple from a really deep core place that informs my experience of life, that I'm hated, that no one likes me, that no one cares about me, that the world is a scary place, that I'm not safe. We are forming our root chakras and our energy fields in our formative years of life. Our energy fields are our boundaries. They help us create safety. They're literally like force fields, we're like bubble boy and bubble girl, we're in a bubble of energy, and when that's ripped or torn or not developed, we've got this huge vulnerability. And when you have that, when you're not developing properly, or when in your developmental process you're getting invaded upon, or you are just not, your energy's not moving properly, the whole chakra system just can get distorted and sometimes not develop completely, and the layers of the energy field not quite there. And so we can end up feeling just like this really visceral sense of I'm not safe. And it's, in a sense, it's true, because when we're that vulnerable, we are easily hurt by other people. We easily fall into patterns where we merge with other people to try to find our self-identity. There's a lot of things that happen in order for us to have an energy field that we feel safe in. But then, of course, as we grow up, we realize the limitations of this unconscious survival mechanism that our beautifully intelligent bodies came up with at such a young age. And then we need to learn how to recalibrate, which, when you're working with the subconscious and the unconscious, is really deep work, because most of that stuff's not on the surface. And of course, we're talking about energy dynamics here. And most people, except maybe nowadays more so, but most people are not aware of how their energy moves and what's going on in the system and how or how not things are moving. So healing work, deep work, all of this is here to help, people feel safer in their bodies. This is one aspect. There's a lot of different levels. Many people have different issues. Some people don't feel unsafe at all. You know these people, they're outgoing, they're this, they're that. But we've all got that place where we are just so insecure, so insecure. And I guess, really my job is to be of service to those people that I resonate the most with, which are likely those people that just feel unsafe in the world and don't really know why, and maybe have a hard time connecting. And that's what I'm here to help with, because when you are like that, there's a lot of shame and confusion, and it's hard to open up to people about, hey, I don't feel safe, because it's so young of a feeling, of an imprint that we often don't even understand it ourselves. So to tell somebody I don't feel safe around you, or like that, people will take that personally. We're afraid of people getting mad at us. Like, there's a lot of interpersonal dynamics that are just like, whoa, like really big and intense for people who don't feel safe from a very young age. And this ripples throughout our lives and creates issues. Yeah, I just wanted to name the reality of like, when I'm opening up to you all, I'm doing so from a place of having taken the time to connect with myself and create safety within my own body. And I'm continually learning to do that better as I'm intending to be more public with healing work as a sensitive person who has a lot of fear of people. Yeah, so the way that we have to go through that is by giving ourselves the safety that we didn't have. We have to give ourselves that first. And what that might look like is having a strong healer team, a strong support system, therapists, energy workers, holistic nutritionists, acupuncture, people who are there for you when things come up. Because when things come up, that's when we gotta move it. We gotta move it. That's your stuff. That's your juice. That's your powerhouse, is your healing work. And we cannot do it alone. So a big part of that is healing the safety wound by realizing that we can actually slowly, gently open up to people about what's going on within ourselves. By doing that, by really diving deep into our own wounds, we can learn just how smart, like just how intelligent we are in our anxiety, in our depression, in our suicidal thoughts. Actually, all of that is like a very logical, it doesn't seem like it would make sense, but it's a logical conclusion, energetically, emotionally, to what's going on within us. So we learn safety by engaging with the fact that our bodies are actually designed to keep us safe. Even when we're at the edge of like, I'm gonna kill myself, it's in a way, it's like this backwards way of protecting ourselves from pain. Anyway, it's this really deep thing, and I'll get into it in another video. My invitation is for you to really hold yourself, like be with yourself as much as you can. Have a daily practice where you are just with yourself and let yourself feel whatever is there. You need to stay with yourself in those moments of pain. And for me, it's taken many years not to just like want to go grab some marijuana or something to like go distract myself, or go into a crisis or a hissy fit, or like whatever my distraction pattern is. Actually going into the painful place with a lot of love is the way. It's the only way. And it takes a lot of skills to get to that place where you're able to just sit with, holy crap, this huge mountain of pain is within me. Can I soften and accept that and just gently go through it one little bit at a time, touching in with myself on that deep subconscious knowing level that understands the source of it and can release it over time with love. That's my little spiel for the day. Vulnerably sharing can trigger safety wounds. So here I am being honest with you guys. The healing journey is hard. It's real. It's raw. It's painful. It's not like, woo, we're on camera healing. No, what we're doing is we're off camera healing. And then we're coming and we're telling you, hey man, this is what I learned through the portal I just went through last week that I thought might kill me. And it's not like this victim thing, like, because it gets easier over time doing the healing work. It's just like you realize what it is. So when it comes back, you can soften, relax, give yourself love, go through the motions, go through the wave, come out the other side a new person. That's the journey, y'all. If you need support, which we all do, but if you're seeking support from somebody who like really can vibrate, resonate with you on that level of like, yeah, the world doesn't feel safe, and want help to be able to understand your healing process better and work through it more efficiently, then hey, hi. That's my job. I love doing healing work with people. It's my deepest joy. I particularly love doing energy healing work with people because I found it to be the most effective way to start to recalibrate the body to have patterns that are positive, life affirming. And yes, this takes time. There's no like, okay, cool, I'm healed now. That won't happen. If you're engaged with your healing process, you will be in it for your whole life. And that doesn't mean you're never gonna be happy. It means you're gonna be happy, and you're also going to have more of yourself, and you're going to lift a huge burden off of humanity. off of yourself, first of all, but also off of humanity by doing that transformative, transmutative work within yourself, which ripples throughout the entire consciousness of humankind. It's a big deal. Good for you for being engaged. And yeah, please reach out. I know a lot of people on this channel are here because you are interested in getting off of psychiatric medication, and I will tell you that having support like this while you're in a withdrawal process, with also having like a psychiatrist, a therapist, people who can help you with the nutritional side of it, it would be so helpful. I wish I had it when I was going through my withdrawal process, but it's something that I discovered along the way. So I encourage you to click the link in the description about a Feel Better Naturally session, and it's the first way to connect with me. There's an application because that's what helps me feel safe, to have some sort of like thing for me to review. So please fill that out, and I'll get back to you soon. So peace and love. Love you guys.